I have $140,000 in student debt and I'm not stressed about it. So let's talk about it. And I'll show you my favorite everyday makeup look. The first thing is from Merit. I'm absolutely obsessed with this. I have 2 sets of student loans. So I have the federal loans that most people have, and then I also have private loans. So lucky me. This is the Milk Contour Stick. I really like this because I'm trying to do clean beauty. When I said I wasn't stressed, that was kind of a lie. I just think it's so crazy how we are signing kids up who are 18 years old with $140,000 of student debt before they really realize like how much money that is and how much it's gonna take to pay that off. I went to a private school in Connecticut and I did that because I was in a 3+1 program, so I basically got 2 degrees for the price of 1 degree. I still got to finish at the same time as all of my friends who were just getting their bachelor's. At the time, I thought going to the private school because of the program was a really good option for me financially. But I definitely didn't realize how much $140,000 really is, or else I probably wouldn't have done it. But I've been paying off my loans since I was a freshman, yes, a freshman in college. So I kind of want to tell you what my plan is, how I'm doing it, and how I'm trying to get rid of these as quickly as possible. I am 24 and I didn't move out of my childhood home until I was 24. I stayed home for 2 years after school and basically was able to put all the money I was making towards my student debt, and honestly, I didn't save, which I definitely don't recommend. Definitely put some savings aside. I kind of learned that the hard way. When I moved out, I kind of realized just how hard it is to pay rent and get your own groceries and basically be an adult and have this looming student debt over your head. It's really hard, honestly, to look at my friends who are getting married and buying houses and just knowing that I'm extremely responsible and I'm not going to be able to do that. I can't do that, and it's not going to happen for quite a while. Essentially, what I do every single month is I put 1 paycheck towards my student debt, and then I do 1 paycheck towards my rent, utilities, groceries, and I kind of try to save just whatever little is left that I can. I know it's really hard for some people to put a full paycheck towards their student debt, but I would really recommend it if you can. I honestly just have it taken out right away, and it's like it never even hit my bank account. So I'm definitely pressed for money, unlike my other friends, but I'm really learning like how to be responsible with money, which, you know, I wish I learned when I was 18. For anyone who is starting their payments now for the federal loans, I really recommend putting more than what's due towards it so you can pay down the principal, because that's the thing that's going to get you, because you're just going to be paying interest over time when you could have brought that down a lot earlier. Don't get me wrong, it's really, really hard to have to say no to things, and I definitely feel a lot of anxiety over it that not a lot of my friends, well, actually, none of my friends understand. This Merit blush is quite literally my favorite blush ever. I have the Rare Beauty one, and this is incredible. It's also very hard knowing that I'm responsible with my money. I'm paying so much more than I need to be paying towards my student debt every single month. And just knowing that I'm not going to be able to buy a house for a while is something that's been causing me a lot of stress and a lot of anxiety. I also just think that it is the most wild thing that schools cost as much as they do these days. Even state schools are extremely expensive. I truly don't understand how taking 5 to 7 classes a semester is gonna cost $69,000 a year. I have no idea how to do this on the camera. For some context, I got my parents to co-sign on my private loan, which was the most amount of money, but I refinanced and they are completely off of it. So just know there are people doing it alone without the help of their parents, because I know it can feel really, really lonely sometimes. This is like my favorite product in my entire makeup bag. I just think it's so cute because I have to buy or lease a new car soon, and it's just really hard because I really wanted to buy out my car, but I don't really want to add another $20,000-$30,000 of debt on top of this looming student debt that's just right here all the time. This is the everyday makeup look. I need to do something with this greasy hair, but this is kind of what happens every day. I feel like this entire video is just to say you don't need to feel alone in the fact that you have a ton of student debt, and maybe your friends, they have parents that can pay for it, or they have other ways to pay for it. You are not the only one who has a ton of student debt, and you will get through it. Trust me, my biggest advice to you and my biggest advice to myself is just put as much as you can towards your student debt every single month, but make sure you have some savings, because that's something that I'm definitely working on, is building my savings, but just making sure that I'm absolutely obliterating my student debt as fast as possible.
I talked about before on my page that I'm over 100K in debt. And a lot of people were like, why don't you like file bankruptcy, yada, 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 this, that, and the other. One, over 60K of my debt, student loans. So that leaves me actually like with 40K of debt that I actually like irresponsibly took out. 24K of it is actually what I owe on my car, more like closer to 25-ish kind of. So that leaves me with $15,000 of credit card and personal loan debt. While that's obviously not like great, I'm just saying it's not like I'm 100K in credit card debt. Y'all be acting like I'm just outrageous out here. Anyways, I was getting sued. And it wasn't for any of that debt because I pay my things. I did like this school program before going to college, and I owed them still like about $2,000. And I had moved to Texas for college, and I was also fighting a felony charge in Texas, and just started college, and I had lost my job because it was COVID 2020. I had called them and let them know this, but they didn't give a fuck. Anyways, it resulted in me not paying them. And then I just had other priorities, sorry. Like, I did. Such as paying my lawyer fee so I could stay out of jail. Yeah. You ever been to Dallas County Jail? I have. I didn't want to stay there. Anyways, I had my court date today. And they settled for the original amount. Because I even told them, I said, I will pay you back the original amount I owe you, or you're getting $0 from me because I'm not paying you $8,000. They somehow calculated this weird ass interest to get $8,000 because I have receipts from 2019 showing no interest. And then all of a sudden, you've caked on 5 years of interest with imaginary numbers. Anyway, I hired a lawyer, and it was funny because they weren't open to settling. Like, the amount of times I had like sent them actual dispute letters with proof that I had been paying on this debt, because I paid on in 2023 and 2024. And they did not want to settle. I called them and asked, nope, we're not settling. We settle high, so it's going to still be around $7,500. Anyway, so I talked to the lawyer on my case a couple days ago and told him I would be open to settling for the original debt. And by original lawyer, I mean like the plaintiff, not my lawyer. And then that day, I attained counsel. And then he filed to appear on my case, my lawyer, and they know him and they don't like him and they know he's a pain in the butt. And so all of a sudden the number went from like $7,500 back to that $2,000 hoe. Interesting. But yeah, this is why poor people stay poor, because what they do is they prey on poor people, and then you're in all this debt, and a lot of them end up in a default judgment because poor people get scared and then they run away from things. And then their wages are garnished, so then they remain in a cycle of poverty. This is what you need to understand about current times. The rich only care about the rich. They do not care about the poor. Anyways, once you understand and actually think about whether the society actually cares about you, put racism aside for a moment. Just think about like poor versus rich. If you're poor, they don't care about you. That's why the rich is happily cutting your Medicaid and Medicare and food stamps and everything else, because they don't care about you. That's why they're making the, bottom 1-2% of America pay now more in taxes. But hey, I'm not in the bottom anymore. I'm a nurse, so I'm actually saving money and getting over $3,000 back. So that's why when people talk about voting, that's why your vote matters. Doesn't matter. I voted in the best interest of poor people because I was a poor person. Not me being a fake imaginary billionaire, But anyways, that kind of got a little off track. My goal though is to pay off the rest of my debt by December. We'll see if I attain it. And by rest of debt, I just mean like the $15,000, not $100,000, because I don't give a fuck about them student loans. The government don't give a fuck about me. I don't give a fuck about them.
How do y'all have no debt? I need to know. There are days like today where I just want to go on a rant about debt. I have $40,000 worth of debt, and that does not include my student loans or my mortgage, because those are things that they get paid when, well, the mortgage gets paid all the time. Obviously, student loans, whenever they come back on, okay, whatever, I'll have to pay them. But I am talking about daily living expenses debt. How do you not have debt? Maybe you guys do and you're just not telling everybody, and that's perfectly fine. Do whatever is best for you. I don't normally tell people, but I've been sharing my recipes, and I'm doing a series on share my recipes to help pay down my debt, because how else am I going to do it? It's going to be a continuous cycle. Like, I'm not spending money on like getting my nails done, going buy new clothes, new shoes, new bags. No, I'm getting diapers. I'm getting wipes. I'm getting formula. I'm getting groceries, things that are a necessity for us to quite literally stay alive. I don't know if I'm the only one who thinks this or goes on rants about debt, but something's got to give. The economy's got to change. I can do some things on my part as far as maybe I can make more money. Hello, TikTok. That would be you. So.
Being poor in 2025 is a choice, not a circumstance. You have a smartphone, internet, and time. That's all you need to make money online or in property. If you're broke, maybe it's because you're choosing comfort over learning.
Bro, I'm sorry, if you broke in 2025, it's not the system, it's not life, it's not the economy, it's your fucking habits. A lot of you motherfuckers try to live these lifestyles that y'all know damn well that's not in your tax bracket. All to impress social media and impress people that you don't even fucking like. It's no way in hell you should be working at Amazon and you live in a fucking high rise and you driving a Mercedes Benz. Or you just working any normal decent warehouse job, but you got a high ass car note, high ass rent, buying luxury bags on bags, then getting mad and blaming the economy because you dirt fucking poor. What? Dog, and I'm not gonna lie, this era, it is so many ways to get money. Legally is not as much. Obviously, illegally is so many fucking ways. But legally gonna take time. If you really commit to that time, you can make a lot of fucking money in 2025. But to all you motherfuckers that keep blaming the economy because you struggling, you just don't know what the fuck you doing. You financially responsible.
Stop buying things. Stop shopping. Given the social climate, people are not buying things right now. You need to be saving your money and investing in yourself. I just paid $9.50 for a carton of eggs at the grocery store. Companies that I've shopped at for years don't care about people that look like me. Invest in yourself. Delete your Amazon account. Stop shopping at Target. Go to a farmer's market. If you truly think you need something in your house, go to a small business, and I cannot stress this enough. An oligarchy is literally controlling America. A small group of billionaires are literally in power. If you're anything like me, you are not a billionaire or a millionaire. For you working class people, okay, if you're trying to secure your future, I need you to just put away your money, okay? Take it out of those big banks and put it away in a local credit union. Stop giving your money to Target. Stop giving your money to TJ Maxx. We need to be living our lives as if we are struggling. Go follow Bradley with the budget, okay? He teaches us how to live a frugal lifestyle. And the way things are changing in America, we need to be frugal because who knows how long we can afford things. I might sound crazy to you, but things are not looking great. And I live in Massachusetts, okay? Also, ChatGPT is free. Ask them how you can save money while supporting local businesses and not giving your money to big businesses.
The reason why you can't afford to buy a home in 2025 and you're still living at your parents' house is because you drink Starbucks, you have a cell phone, you have a Netflix subscription, and you buy clothes. Apparently, this is the reason why. And it has nothing to do with the fact that home prices have gone up 60% in the last 5 years. And let's not forget that the average rent in the United States is at least $2,000. No, it's a cell phone and Starbucks. I agree with people to some extent that if you want to buy a house in 2025, you need to cut back on spending and make some sacrifices. But if giving up Starbucks was the answer, no one would be drinking it. And it's not like people in the 1930s didn't have things to waste their money on. But the big difference is back then, essentials weren't eating up 60% of their gross income. Today, if you add up your shelter costs, your food, your gas, you're going to be 60% into your paycheck. There's not much left to play with, let alone save. And I know comparing with the Great Depression is oversimplistic, but reading some of your responses is just shocking. Do you people not realize the housing crisis we're currently going through right now? There are literally engineers in the comments section that can't afford to buy a house, and that's not right. But yeah, keep blaming the $7 coffee and the avocado toast.
I just went to Costco and bought 2 things. Teriyaki noodles and tissue paper. Tell me why it was $32.
I just spent $7 on a bag of Doritos. $7. Hold on. I have to show you the bag. Hold on. I'm sorry. $6.29. It's not even a family size bag. So I'm an Aldi shopper, and I prefer to shop there, but they don't have the blue Doritos. And my stepdaughter loves the blue Doritos, so I had to get them because school's coming up and I wanted to have a cute little lunch. Oh my God. $7. How are people supposed to, how am I supposed to afford life? Oh my God. Rant. Not over, but over for now.
Influencing people to buy things that they quite literally cannot afford is out. Oh my God, this is the best purchase of my life. You need this. Sweetie, this will be the only purchase of their life if you keep it up. Save your fucking money, girls. Save your money.
I don't know, maybe I have the wrong idea about it. Y'all keep saying dep this, dep that, save this, save that. The whole thing is like, I don't know. Maybe it's me, maybe it's my personal experience. I just known too many people that didn't even make it to 30, literally. So like, I'm not saying I shouldn't save for the future. I shouldn't have a retirement plan. I shouldn't put up 401, all this other shit. That's nice. Great. Nice. But the thing is, like, you need to live life now, I feel like, personally. I'm never gonna get this time back. I'm never gonna get these years back. I'm never gonna get this year back. So y'all could save up for a vacation that might take me 5 years to save up for, and then what happens when I get to that 5-year mark and I can no longer do it? Things are way more expensive, so that's just out of the question. We got some type of crazy ass ban where we can't leave the country, or I just not in a physical shape or mental shape to even be able to travel. I don't know. Maybe it's me. Maybe I'm irresponsible as fuck. I have no clue. I just know that if I can make a way to make shit happen, I'm gonna make it happen. And to me, experiences are more important than any of this material shit and saving up, retirement funds, all this extra shit. I just don't care about that right now. I'm sorry, I don't. Like, savings, yeah, cool, fine, dandy, but like, for me personally, I feel like this country is already just going to shit as is, and it's like crazy expensive to live here. So like, for me, I know y'all saying like, oh, you need to save up, expenses, bills, emergency funds, all this stuff, 401k, you want to retire, you want to pay down your debts. I don't give a shit. I'll change my name and move out the country, and y'all will never see me again. I don't know. Maybe I'm irresponsible. Maybe I don't think clearly. I don't know, y'all. I can't even think straight. I need a trip so damn bad I can't even think straight.
Hourly wage jobs are a scam. Because what do you mean I'm going to be working 37, 38 hours a week and, spend so much time there commuting back and forth and barely have enough to pay rent. Barely have enough to get food. Like, feeling stressed every day about not having enough money. And like, I know, you just get another job. I would if it was that easy, and I'm trying. But in the meantime, this is what I have, and it's very frustrating. Especially because they keep on, it's like, oh, well, you might be able to get promoted. You might be able to get a raise. How much is the raise going to be? 50 cents? Like, don't even. I don't know. I'm just frustrated. Yeah, like, what the hell?
I ain't gonna lie, if I knew the price of everything in the economy would be like this, I would have started saving in the 4th grade, like real shit.
$20 an hour to work this boo-boo head-ass job. Like, I don't understand. $20 an hour is not nothing. With the way the economy is today, it's nothing, you know? Spending 10 and a half, 11 hours at work a day. $20. Think about that, y'all. $20 an hour to sweat my butt off. Be sore, feet sore, dehydrated, sleep deprived because I'm working night shift, constantly tired, but I wake up and keep doing it because I have a family to feed. I have people that care about me, depend on me. I live in Arizona, bro. $20 doesn't even give me half tank of gas, but I'm thankful for a job. I am. This job is only temporary. It's only to get me where I want to go. I'm blessed to be in school, about to finish first semester with a 3.4 GPA, going for my Bachelor of Science in Marketing and Advertising. I'm sticking with it, man. I run a side business too. Actually, 2 side businesses. What puts us in these low paying job situations is not having a skill set. I am working on building my skill set to the point where I won't need this job. I tell myself every day I am going to leave this place. This is only temporary. Think about it, y'all. $20 an hour in this economy, the cost of living, to raise a family, to provide for your family, to just do anything, it's not enough money. The government is stripping us of everything. It's gonna get worse before it gets better. All I'm saying is, whatever you're doing, dreams, aspirations, goals, skills, all I'm saying is chase that shit. Don't give up, for real. I'm about to be 30 years old December 29th. Am I ashamed that I'm here? No. Everything is a learning curve. Some people never figure it out or find their purpose, but I'm going to find my purpose. I actually already have. If you're watching this video, keep going. I'm gonna see y'all at the finish line.
I basically just want to explain how expensive things are in the world today by explaining my finances today and my finances a couple of years ago. So when I graduated from law school in 2021, I started out making $65,000 a year. That is all that I was making, $65,000 a year. I was living in Pensacola, Florida, and my rent was $1,400 a month, including utilities and all of that. So probably about $1,600 a month. And for the most part, I was splitting it with my ex-boyfriend at the time. I was paying around probably $800 a month. But there were a few months there where he lost his job. And I was like, you know what? I can pay the full rent. That way you don't have to worry about it. So for a few months there, I was paying $1,600 a month in rent. So now I live in Austin, Texas. My rent is about $940, and then we have utilities on top of that. So I probably pay somewhere around, I don't know, somewhere around $1,100, $1,200 a month. And now I make $90 a year, and I get bonuses on top of that. So I usually come out to about somewhere around $95 a year. And when I tell you, I felt so much more wealthy making $65 a year. Like, I was able to put so much more in savings. Like, I was putting money in savings every single check that I make. And now I feel like I'm taking money out of savings every single check that I make. So it's not just you, it's everyone. We're all feeling it. Everything is just insanely expensive, and it's got to get better, or else I truly don't know how we're going to keep going.
I have a question. Sorry, I'm out of breath. Is everybody financially hurting right now? I feel like everyone I talk to, like my friends and even my family, some members of my family are just like, they've never been this financially strained before, or it's been, a long time. And I'm like, is it just me and who I'm surrounding myself with? Or is this like worldwide issues or countrywide issues? Yeah, is everyone really struggling right now, or is it just me and my friends?
I'm struggling harder financially than I ever have in my entire life, and I've come to a really gross realization. My self-worth, at least in my brain's perspective, is heavily weighed on how much money I make, and that sucks.
This is literally what majority of us make in 8 hours of work. Just this. This right here is why I learned all I could about these little pieces of paper right here, where to put it so I can make more of it, and that's why I teach others to do the same. Link in bio.
Yeah. Happy Wednesday.
The mindset of getting into debt is pretty easy, right? You sign your name to some paper. We say you can wander your way in, but you cannot wander your way out. And so we talk about gazelle intensity because in scripture it says, if you have signed surety, my son, do this. Deliver yourself like a bird from the hand of the fowler and a gazelle from the hands of the hunter.
Oh,
and
yeah.
so you have that picture of the Discovery Channel and watching a gazelle outrun a cheetah. The intensity, the strain, running for their life. That's the amount of intensity to be in. It's going to be a season of sacrifice, but it's just for a period of time.
So I've been MIA for like a while. And I hate that because there's actually so many of you guys that are following along and encouraging, and my hair, oh my god. I've been like really depressed. It's bad. I'm getting help, like I'm reaching out to my friends and my family and going to therapy and stuff, but it's not working. I've been spending a lot of time sleeping and crying, and I don't know. It started with my trip to my mom's. That was like the trigger, and it normally my depressive episodes only last like a couple days, but this one has been around for over a month now, and it's really taking a toll on me. I have a huge update in the debt situation. I had a rental property that I owed hardly nothing on. It's not like a crazy expensive. It's like a little townhome. Anyway, I did a cash out refi on it, and I only pulled enough to pay off all the consumer debt. So technically I'm debt free now because I pulled the equity from the house and paid off all the debt, but now I owe the same amount of money. It's just a different kind of debt. So I'm consumer debt free, but I still have this mortgage that I didn't have before, but my tenant pays me rent and the rent covers the mortgage. So I still look at it as I very much am still $100,000 in debt. And my depression has been so bad that my work is suffering and I'm not making the kind of money that I was making before. So I'm not really sure what the hell I'm gonna do. But that's where I've been. And I'm sorry that I've been gone, and I miss the like happy me that I was. But hopefully I'll be back to that soon because nobody wants to watch this bullshit. So so that's what's going on, and that's where I've been, and that's what I've been doing. So
I'm in my 30s and I'm almost $750,000 worth in debt. And you may ask yourself, well, how in the world did you get there? My two largest sources of debt are my student loans and my house. So my house I originally bought in 2019 for $375,000. I'm now down to $339,638. And my student loans, I graduated in 2016. I've been paying every single month since then. I originally took out a little over $200,000. I'm now at $307,870. So can you imagine? My grand total is $647,508. Now, this is wild, but a lot of healthcare professionals that I know have similar debt ranges. So we're basically worth more negative than positive. How in the world do you get out of these things? So my student loans, I've been posting a lot. I've been counting on public service loan forgiveness, and I'll talk more about that in some of my other videos.